I gave my puppy to the paperboy. It was the best thing I ever did. When my golden retriever had a litter of 14 puppies in 2008, I took 3 weeks off work just to rotate them for feeding. It was chaos, but the kind of chaos that makes you remember why you love dogs. Every morning around 4 a.m., I'd let them out to play in the yard. My neighbor Beth would walk over from next door and ask how they were doing. We'd talk for maybe 20 minutes while she watched them stumble around like drunk little furballs. When the puppies hit 6 weeks old, Beth mentioned her son Mitch was interested in one. I stopped her right there. If Mitch wants a puppy, he needs to talk to me himself. The next morning, this scrawny 13-year-old kid shows up on my porch, hands shaking, barely making eye contact. I invited him to sit down because the poor kid looked like he was about to pass out from nerves. Mr. Leon, how much are you selling the puppies for? $650 each. I watched his eyes dart back and forth, mumbling numbers under his breath like he was doing mental math. Finally, he looks up at me with these determined eyes. I want to buy one and name her Ginger. I don't have any money saved, but I'll get a job. I'll make payments. I'll be her best friend for life. Now, I'm not heartless, but I had serious concerns. Here's this kid with $0, probably zero sense of responsibility, thinking raising a dog is like owning a toy. I'd worked hard to make sure each puppy went to a good home, and I wasn't about to hand one over to some kid who'd lose interest in 2 weeks. But then an idea hit me. A test. All right, Mitch, here's the deal. You have 4 weeks to save $400 cash. Bring me that and you can take home a 10-week-old puppy of your choice. After that, you pay me $100 every single week until you hit $650 total. You miss one payment by even 1 day, I get Ginger back. No exceptions. He stuck out his hand immediately. We shook on it. I honestly thought that would be the end of it. That he'd try for maybe a week, realize how hard it was, and give up like most kids do. I was so wrong. That same day, while I was still at work, Mitch found a paper route. Started delivering newspapers at 3:30 in the morning, 7 days a week. Then he'd go to school, come home, and mow lawns until dark. Did odd jobs for neighbors. Anything to make a buck. I'd see him sometimes in the early morning when I let my dogs out. He'd wave from across the street, newspapers slung over his shoulder, and ask how Ginger was doing. Every single morning. 3 weeks later, there's a knock on my door at 6 a.m. I open it, and there's Mitch, holding a manila envelope. I have it. He handed it to me. Inside was $650. All crumpled ones, 5s, and 10s. Money that smelled like newspaper ink and cut grass. I just stared at him. This kid had saved $650 in 3 weeks doing manual labor before and after school. I was so blown away that I couldn't even speak for a second. We shook on $400 in 4 weeks, I finally said. You're a week early and you brought the full amount. He shrugged. I wanted to make sure you knew I was serious. Right then and there, I knew Ginger was going to the best possible home. I handed her over that day. But before he left, I made him promise one thing. If there ever came a time when he couldn't take care of her, he had to bring her back to me. Never give her to anyone else. He looked me dead in the eyes and said, "That'll never happen, Mr. Leon." We shook on it. For the next year and a half, those two were inseparable. I'd see them every day, walking around the neighborhood, playing fetch in his backyard. That kid loved that dog more than anything. Then life happened. His mom got sick. Really sick. The medical bills piled up, and they had to move 3 states away to live with family. Mitch came to my door in tears, Ginger by his side. I can't take her with me. I promised I'd bring her back to you. I took Ginger back that day, but I told him something. When you're ready, when life settles down, you call me. She's yours. That was 15 years ago. Last month, I got a call from an unknown number. "Mr. Leon, it's Mitch. I'm a veterinarian now. I have my own place. Is Ginger still?" I smiled. "She's 15 years old, Mitch. Still here. Still waiting." 2 days later, he drove 6 hours to pick her up. When Ginger saw him, she went absolutely insane. 15 years later, and she still remembered. Before he left, Mitch handed me an envelope. Inside was $10,000. "What's this for?" "You didn't just sell me a dog, Mr. Leon. You taught me that if I wanted something in life, I had to earn it. You taught me discipline, responsibility. You're the reason I became a vet. This is my way of saying thank you." We shook hands one last time.